How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Monitor Comics, the channel where we create comics and manga. If this is your first time checking out my YouTube channel, then I hope you can check out some of my other videos after you are finished watching this one. In today's video, we will be discussing how to create well-written isekai comics and manga with the Anituber Hermsaur. Since the release of Sword Art Online in 2012, an isekai boom has taken the world by storm. Everywhere you look, new isekai light novels, anime series, and manga series are being created, animated, and shoved into our faces. If you are a fan of isekai, then you may have heard the statement, all isekai stories are the same. That is entirely not true. Sure, there are plenty of generic power fantasy isekai stories out there, but we also have amazing isekai stories like these. With so many new isekai stories coming out every season, it can be hard to know what to look for in a good isekai series. That is why in today's video, I am joined by Hermsaur, an anime reactor who has reviewed many isekai anime series over the years. Make sure to watch this video in its entirety because Hermsaur and I will be discussing the history of isekai, elements that define a good isekai story, and how to create an isekai story that stands out from the rest. You may recognize Hermsaur from some of his iconic anime reaction videos, anime convention vlogs, and breakdancing battles.
Hello, my name is Hermsaur. I am a YouTuber and Twitch streamer. I mostly create anime reactions and reviews on YouTube, and on Twitch I kind of just do whatever I want, like gaming. I play a lot of Genshin Impact and Apex Legends right now, but I like to mix it up with different types of games. I love JRPGs. And then like on Instagram, it's just like little snippets. Same thing with TikTok. Anything anime related is generally my focus, and I would say like my specialty. I'm not like the smartest anime reviewer, but you know, like I'm a very reactive person if anything. But I also like to create vlogs, or I call them films now. I like to do anything that's anime related outside of just reactions now. I'm just starting to branch off just a little bit. You guys can find me on YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, almost every social media platform. I've been making content on YouTube for a long time actually. I started I think 2014, but I started as a Pokemon YouTuber. I was inspired by people like Shofu, Shady Penguin, and then I saw people like Numnexus and Hayden, and I just wanted to create like Pokemon content because I was a big fan of Pokemon. I was kind of like a closet weeb. Rogers Base and Etika, they kind of told me like, hey man, you really do good at this waifu thing. You should like kind of move over to anime, you know, like kind of branch out, broaden your horizons outside of just the Pokemon space, because Pokemon is still kind of like in the anime realm. So I started doing that, and I started doing anime content. It started out with reviews, and then it started vlogs, and I still do all of that. I just added the reactions, but now it seems like reactions have taken over my YouTube channel, but I'm trying to like diversify it a little bit more because I don't want to just do reactions. I've been a fan of anime and manga for such a long time. I would say that I started off only anime only. I'm not really much of a reader, but what got me into reading manga was My Hero Academia and Black Clover, because those two were the shonen, ending very soon, those two. But those were the two shonen anime that kind of jump-started my YouTube channel. But I've been a fan of anime for a long time. I remember back in the day, I couldn't have any cable TV because my parents thought, or mostly my dad didn't think television was good for me because I'm Asian and I have to get good grades. That never happened. I would actually go to my local library, rent out VHS, not DVDs, just so I can watch Dragon Ball Z, and I would get in trouble when he finds out that I rented some. My mom was very supportive of my weeb life until she saw a folder of my hentai. I've been reacting to anime on YouTube since I would say like the third season of My Hero Academia. It wasn't very well received at first, but then I kind of figured out the formula of like how I wanted to react. I added different formulas of other content creators that I enjoyed watching that did reaction content, and I made it my own, such as like Etika with his reactions, Roger, Afro Senju, Heavenly Controller. Like I've culminated like a different mix of how people reacted to anime and made it my own. For some reason, when the cameras turn on, I go like 3000% and I just start screaming to the point where like now I have like to filter my scream so I don't hurt people's ears. But now people are mad that I filter it because they want their ears to bleed. Like I just don't get you guys sometimes.
The term isekai roughly translates to different world or other world. Isekai is a genre of portal fantasy and science fiction literature. Isekai includes novels, light novels, films, manga, anime, and video games that revolve around a person who is transported to another world. The world that the characters are transported to could be a fantasy world, virtual world, another planet, or a parallel universe. You may have heard of popular isekai series like Sword Art Online, No Game No Life, and That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. Isekai stories allow the viewer to learn about the fantasy world, power system, and other characters at the same pace as the protagonist. Since the protagonist character was transported from our world, we are able to easily insert ourselves into their shoes.
I think I only started getting to isekai anime like at the release of ReZero. Season 1 of ReZero, when it was releasing weekly. I don't remember the exact year, but it was then when I was like, dude, this is kind of freaking cool. And it was just such an emotional trip. And then after that, I watched Konosuba, an even happier isekai, and I fell in love with Aqua so much. And then got into a more general isekai of an overpowered character, which is Knights and Magic. And I was just like, bruh, this is fantastic. I love this like genre. And it was my friends that told me like, hey man, you know, isekai is just like, it's the same thing over and over and over again. Top 3 isekai anime in my opinion. I didn't know SAO was like considered an isekai at one point. I just thought it was like kind of cool. ReZero will always be like one of my favorite isekai. Rem is like one of my top waifus. I mean, I have like a whole shelf in the back if you guys see, like that is all Rem. The bottom shelf is Rem as well. I have 3 shelves of Rem. I'm trying to get another one. I've always been a fan of Knights and Magic. Of course, the 2 that I've watched at the very beginning. If I was to give a third, that's kind of difficult. There are so many different isekai anime and it's almost all the same. but it's like why I like it so much, right? It's so easy to digest. If I'm gonna say something from the top of my head, I would say the Saint's magic is omnipotent. I actually enjoyed that one a lot. But there's obviously so many great ones like Mushoku Tensei, like Konosuba and Overlord. There's so many great isekai, but the titles are so long sometimes I just don't remember it.
The concept of isekai originates in ancient Japanese literature. The first recorded isekai story is thought to be the tale of Urashima Taro. This folktale focuses on a fisherman who saves a turtle and is brought to a fantastical undersea kingdom. The tale of Urashima Taro was later adapted into one of the earliest anime films in 1918. In the West, portal fantasy stories like Alice in Wonderland, The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, Peter Pan, and The Chronicles of Narnia were the precursors to isekai. During the 1900s, isekai manga was extremely popular among the shoujo or young girl demographic. Isekai series like Fushigi Yugi, From Far Away, and Inuyasha were highly successful in Japan. Isekai manga produced during the 1900s often followed average teenage girls who were whisked away to a new world where they would go on magical adventures. It was common for these female protagonists to fall in love with the character in their new world. This created the dilemma of having to choose between returning home or staying in the fantasy world. In the 2000s, series like Dot Hack, Digimon Adventure, and Moon Remix RPG Adventure were the first to introduce virtual worlds into the isekai genre.
I've been reading a lot of Manwha, Korean manga, that is based off of video game isekai, because the Manwha series has been taken off in comparison to manga too. Like right now I'm reading like Hell Mode, which is a kid that gets isekai'd and he chose the harder version of that world. But in terms of video game isekai series, it's cool, but like I think about it like, do I want to get isekai'd into like a Bloodborne, or do I want to get isekai'd into an Elden Ring? Hell no. But would I like to be isekai'd into Genshin Impact? Yes. I always put myself into the position of the character. Would I want to be isekai'd into that world? But what kind of power would I have? What kind of power would benefit me? But there's tons of great video game isekai. I love video games and I love anime, so having it fused together is really, really cool.
Isekai in light novels was also popularized in the 2000s with the success of the series The Familiar of Zero. The Familiar of Zero web novel was originally published on the website Let's Become Novelist. Fans of the series would use this website to write fanfiction and later original isekai web novels. The authors of the popular isekai series ReZero and Mushoku Tensei began their career writing fanfictions of The Familiar of Zero on the website Let's Become Novelists. In 2012, the anime adaptation of Sword Art Online would put the isekai genre on the map. Sword Art Online's worldwide success sparked a new wave of isekai light novels, manga, and anime. For the last decade, isekai has been one of the most popular anime genres. One of the most influential titles to emerge from the isekai boom was Mushoku Tensei. This web novel was originally published on the website Let's Become Novelist after the success of The Familiar of Zero. Mushoku Tensei would go on to popularize the reincarnation subgenre of isekai. Mushoku Tensei also established many common isekai tropes that are still used today. Many isekai series looked at Mushoku Tensei as a point of reference. To this day, many still consider Mushoku Tensei as the father of modern-day isekai. The isekai genre became so popular in the 2010s that it attracted worldwide criticism. Critics argued that isekai series were overcrowding the anime and manga market. Some web novel and manga competitions went as far as to ban entries that fell into the isekai genre.
I don't give a to be honest, because I like isekai. I see isekai as not something to just like literally dissect and really try to think things through. Like, there's so many theories that you can make out of a One Piece episode or a Hunter x Hunter episode, Naruto, Bleach. There's so many different anime where there's so much to dissect, right? When it comes to an isekai, a lot of the times it is pretty predictable. And sometimes there's just like a little twist. But for most of the time, like, honestly, I don't care. I understand that I'm isekai trash. I have the least amount of expectations for isekai. I think once you've accepted that and you know what you're going to get, then it is what it is. And people get tired of it. But I don't know why people are saying, I just want a good isekai. And I'm just like, bro, we're just gonna get the same shit over and over again, TBH. But they always seem to go back to it knowing that it's trash. And then knowing that it's trash, they say, oh man, this is trash. You gotta know isekai is going to be somewhat trash at the end of the day. But I'm proud to be isekai trash.
Modern isekai are now extremely popular with the shonen or young boy demographic. Many isekai series feature male protagonists, but female protagonists are becoming more popular again with the emergence of the villainess archetype. The number of isekai series available right now is overwhelming. Isekai stories have survived the last decade by evolving as a genre. Many modern isekai stories incorporate elements from other genres including slice of life, harem, and history. At this point, there is an isekai story out there for everyone. Isekai stories can be split into two categories: transported to another world and reincarnated in another world. Some popular transported to another world isekai anime series include The Rising of the Shield Hero, Tsukimichi Moonlit Fantasy, and Gate So the JSDF Fought. Three well-known reincarnated in another world isekai anime include Wise Man's Grandchild, So I Am a Spider So What, and Saga of Tanya the Evil. One of the most iconic ways isekai protagonists are reincarnated into another world is by being run over by a truck. This bizarre plot device resulted in the creation of the meme Truck-Kun, a truck who is single-handedly responsible for sending isekai protagonists to other worlds. In isekai stories, it is common for the protagonist character to be an ordinary or below average person in their past life, but outstanding in their next life. Sometimes isekai protagonists retain knowledge of their previous life, giving them an advantage in their new world. It is not uncommon for isekai stories to focus solely on the reincarnated protagonist. If you are lucky, an isekai series may provide a few hints or flashbacks into the protagonist's past life before they were transported to another world. Throughout the years, the role of the isekai protagonist has changed. Early on, the concept of the chosen hero was often used to highlight the importance of the protagonist. Isekai series that did the chosen one trope well include The Familiar of Zero, Dog Days, and The Problem Children Are Coming to Another World. A more modern trend in isekai is to have the protagonist reincarnate into a pre-existing character in order to reform them. In doing so, the pre-existing character is able to avoid a bad fate or death. Examples of isekai anime that follow this formula include Overlord, My Next Life as a Villainess, and How Not to Summon a Demon Lord. In recent years, a subgenre of isekai known as second chance isekai became more mainstream. In second chance isekai stories, instead of being reborn into another world, the protagonist is reincarnated into their younger self. This type of isekai uses time travel as a means of being reborn in another life. The twist with second chance isekai stories is the protagonist is able to use their older intellect alongside any new knowledge they gain. In second chance isekai stories, the protagonist is able to relive their life and avoid mistakes they made in the original timeline. Examples of second chance isekai anime include Tokyo Revengers, Relife, and Remake Our Life. Another offshoot of isekai is known as slow life reincarnation. In these types of isekai stories, the protagonist character is overworked in their previous life, so they decide to take it easy in their next life. Examples of slow life isekai include By the Grace of Gods, So I've been killing slimes for 300 years and maxed out my level, and banished from the hero's party, I decided to live a quiet life in the countryside.
One of my favorite genres, if not my favorite genre of anime, is slice of life. A lot of isekai anime tend to have some slice of life portions into it, which is probably my favorite. It's easy to digest, it's easy to understand. Unlike a ReZero, which is like very complicated. All the other stuff is just like overpowered main character. I just love it.
In a similar vein, it is common for isekai protagonists to pursue an interest, goal, or a hobby that they were unable to pursue in their previous life. Examples of slice of life isekai anime in this subgenre include Drugstore in Another World, Kimono Michi, and Restaurant to Another World. Finally, Reverse-Isekai is a subcategory of isekai where someone from a fantasy world is transported to our normal everyday world. These types of stories are rare but pop up occasionally. Some popular Reverse-Isekai series include The Devil is a Part-Timer, Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, and Ya Boy Kung Ming. When you are developing your own isekai story, don't be afraid to incorporate elements from other successful isekai series. Common isekai tropes and themes that were successful in the past continue to be popular today. There is no reason to avoid plot devices, character archetypes, and visual aesthetics that continue to show results. If you want to stand out from the crowd, consider expanding upon your isekai story's setting. In many isekai series, the story takes place in a medieval world with villages, magic, and kingdoms. While it isn't wrong to follow this precedent, switching things up may catch a reader's attention. Brainstorm different ideas for different types of worlds that your characters could be transported to. Instead of the cookie cutter medieval world, maybe your character is transported to an underwater city or a dystopian planet. For more information about world building, please consider checking out my video covering world building in comics and manga after you are finished watching this video.
If it's too gory, I try not to watch too much gory stuff. People are surprised if I'm gonna say this, even like if it is too ecchi for me. I like some ecchi stuff, but I don't like too much of it. But for me, as long as it's an isekai, I'm probably going to watch it, if I'm going to be completely honest with you. Like I was saying, there is this manga or this light novel that I've been reading called Hell Mode, where yes, the character is overpowered, but he has to earn it and he has to level up. Not like Solo Leveling. I mean, Solo Leveling is kind of like the same, right? If you guys want to read a really fun isekai, that's a good series to read. Like, I like that, like where they're strong, but they have to earn their power. They have to level up. There's obviously a struggle. They need help from exterior forces, but it still has the prime overpowered isekai hero, but he has to earn what he has to get. Some twists, some good feels, not too dark, but I like a mixture of all of that, to be honest.
In terms of characterization, many isekai protagonists lack depth in defining traits. A lot of generic isekai protagonists share similar personalities and resemble each other physically. To further develop your main character, try to incorporate your isekai protagonist's past life into your main storyline. Remember, you chose to write an isekai story instead of a pure fantasy story. Take advantage of that and explore how your protagonist's past life can influence their decisions in their new life. Maybe your isekai protagonist endured hardships or trauma in their past life that they have to overcome in their new life. Maybe your isekai protagonist actually preferred their past life and will do anything to get it back. Create space to explore your protagonist's backstory in order to further develop them as a three-dimensional character. Isekai stories are designed to be simplistic and easy to digest. The average reader isn't expecting a groundbreaking story when they pick up a new isekai series. However, that low expectation is exactly why non-generic isekai stories have the potential to take the world by storm. ReZero shocked the world with his darker story and headstrong protagonist. Konosuba gained worldwide recognition for satirizing generic isekai tropes and character archetypes. Mushoku Tensei set the precedent and showed us that isekai series can have compelling plotlines, complicated characters, and interesting settings.
I would say if you know someone or you yourself like isekai anime, be proud. Don't listen to what other people say. Be isekai trash. It's okay to like what you like. People will judge you just based off of the things that you like in anime. Even like things on my anime list are very subjective. You're allowed to like what you like. I actually like Sword Art Online. Yes, Sword Art Online is not perfect, and there's a lot of things that are, questionable, but I still enjoy the series, especially Alicization. So just, in general, like, don't be afraid to like the anime that you like. Be proud of your favorite anime.
The isekai boom isn't over yet. There are many more isekai titles being released now than ever before. If you are interested in developing a light novel, manga, or webtoon in the isekai genre, now is the time to give it your best shot.
So you guys can follow me over on youtube.com/Hermsaur. That is my main platform. I also stream on twitch.tv/Hermsaur. It would really mean a lot. Trying to get to like at least 40,000 subscribers. I'm almost there. Trying to catch up to Monitor, but once again, thank you guys so much for watching my interview. Thank you, Monitor, for interviewing me and collaborating with me. It honestly really means a lot. I see your channel growing and you doing big things, and it's really cool to see, especially seeing someone with the knowledge of like manga, because like I said, I'm not much of a reader, but watching your videos are really cool and pretty educational as well for someone who only likes to watch anime. So guys, don't forget to like and comment. Give me some isekai suggestions that you guys like to read, whether if it's a manga, manhwa, let me know. I like them all. And subscribe to this YouTube channel. Help Monitor out. I think you're almost at 50K, right? Let's get you to 50K, god damn it. Let's go.
Thank you to all of my patrons for making this video possible. As always, keep creating, everyone. I will see you all in the next one.
Is One Piece fantasy? No, One Piece is adventure.